Hey everybody, and welcome back to another weekend roundup video. Today we're going to take a look at the mods released in the Giants Mod Hub the week of January 28th through February 1st. This week we saw 15 mods released in the Mod Hub. All of them were new. None of them appeared to have been updates from previously released mods. Yet at the same time, we still have 229 mods pending testing, and that's as of Tuesday. So the testing thread was not updated since Tuesday. And in Tuesday, we had 229 pending testing. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Mod Hub and just get a general overview of the mods that were released this week. First one we saw this week was the Animal Husbandry increase. This increases your mods or your Animal Husbandry availability from 10 per save game to a total of 32. Look at all those chicken huts. At any rate, this is an interesting mod. It is recommended to only be done with higher end systems because you could see performance problems. We'll kind of try to demonstrate this. I'm going to deactivate the mod. We're going to put down as many little chicken huts as we can and see when we get to that limit. We should hit the limit at 10. Then we're going to save the game. We're going to activate the mod, and we're going to come back in, and we're going to see if we can basically put in more. I suspect we will be able to. We saw two bale forks get released this week. A straw fork here, and then snuck in today, Friday, we saw another bale fork show up. Got a placeable, and then we've got a few self-propelled. Got an Fendt Vario 1000, which is modified from the in-game Vario 1000. Got a couple little tractors here, cool little tractors. Got a slurry and water tanker pack. The Silo King self-propelled TMR mixer makes its return from Farm Sim 17, as does the New Holland SP 400F self-propelled sprayer from 17. This one can now also take herbicide. We've got the return of the GTX LS Mod Company service trailer. This was very popular in 17 once it got released. It not only holds fuel, but you can also do your service and maintenance. Got a log trailer that actually connects to the back of the Mahindra forwarder. The return of the Horse Tiger cultivator from Farm Sim 17. Yet another skin of the Challenger MT700E. Seriously, how many skins do we need? Let's just take a look and see how many skins we have. We've got 3 Challenger 700Es. We've got 2 snake skin. Well, we got a snake skin. We've got the 700E itself. And then we've got the 700E Stealth. Now, if we search Challenger MT, we're going to see we've got, I mean, how many of these do we need? Seriously, right now we have 4 Challenger MT tractors in the Mod Hub, not withstanding the ones that we have in the base game. Also seen an interesting government subsidy mod. This has got quite some controversy going on with this mod. Its main intent is to be the equivalent of the money cheat for console players. This thing is rather controversial because of the amount of money that you can earn from this per game hour. We'll talk a little bit about that later. And we have the return of the placeable refill tanks from Giants, except we have now not only the seed, solid, and liquid fertilizer tanks, we also have a herbicide tank to go along with that combination. And of course the bale fork, which we've already talked about. So let's take a look at the testing thread. It was updated on Tuesday. Let's see here, what day was it? Tuesday the 29th. And that was the last update. I've been checking this daily. You can see that we've got the forwarder here. Got the, well, the forwarder is the only thing that appears to have made it from testing on Tuesday into full release. I suppose these other 3 were returned with rejections, and 229. So we've seen mods get released, and we've seen the waiting to be testing still increasing. Will we get to a point where they are finally caught up to the point where they are releasing mods faster than people are submitting them? Oh gosh, I hope so. So with that, let's jump back in game and get this party started looking at these mods. So as we've done in the past, we're going to start out by looking at the tractors, make our way to the trailers and implements, then placeables, and then scripts. So that's the order we're going to take. Let's take a look at the Fendt Vario 1000. That can be found here in the large tractors. And let's compare it first to the Vario 1000 base tractor. Right here, 329,000, 396 horsepower in the base version, 1038. Go to the 1050 for a total of 517 horsepower. And we've got a combination of wheels. We've got Trelleborg and Michelin. We've got standard, twins, wide with weights, wide, wheel weights. Michelin, we've got twins, wide with weights, wides, wheel weights, and standard. And that's pretty much all the configuration we have here with the in-game version. You see we do have the EU warning signs here and the beacons. Now let's take a look at the modded Fendt Vario 1000. Still $329,000 base price, except now we have color selections because we can change the design from the AGCO Fendt Vario 1000 to the AGCO Fendt Challenger. Now it does change stickers. It changes the rooftop, and it's removed the EU warning labels in lieu of what looks like indicators and reflectors. Also go with the AGCO Fendt Gens machine, I guess, Gens something. Once again, we've got our EU warning labels back. We've got a different colored top here. So let's just take a look at those. So we've got the cab back changes, EU stick warning labels change, and the top changes. And the back is changing. We get rid of the labels, and the top changes. Same with that one. So we do have color selections, so we can change colors. Suppose that is the color that we're supposed to pick for the Fendt Gens. Design color is a rather interesting thing. It only seems to affect the Fendt Vario selection. Okay, you can see I've got design color here on yellow, and we don't see any yellow anywhere around the tractor. Let's change this back to Challenger and then Vario. So you can see the yellow here. Change this to black. You can see that's changed to black now. Go to Challenger. Main color to Challenger yellow. There we are. So change the rim color. Whatever rim color we want. So we have our choice of engines, 1038 all the way up to the 1050, again for 517 horsepower. And we have Trelleborg tires in twins, wide with weights, wides, wheel weights, and standard. Michelin, twins, wide with weights, wide tires, wheel weights, standard. And that is it. Let's go ahead and lease this thing and just take a closer look at it. Is quite nice. I do like it's got the FS19. We've got the mesh here that we can see through. Basically, it's basically a reskin, I suppose, of the in-game version, with the exception that the Challenger I like has gotten the EU warning labels removed. So let's check these lights. They are blinkers, beacons, first stage lights, second stage lights, and third stage lights. This thing will light up the night. Sure. This on over here, out of the way. I am sorry I forgot to mention that earlier, but it is by Aaron, Aharon, I think. Ahran modding. I'm not really sure how you would pronounce that, but it is for all platforms also. Now, let's take a look at the Fortschite, I can never pronounce that, ZT 320 or 323 series tractors. This is by modding group AAA Modding, and this is also for all platforms. Now, these tractors can be found under small tractors. Got the ZT323A, which is a four-wheel drive tractor. We get it in blue, brown, that reflective there. Get it in green, and back to blue. Rim color we can change white to cream, I guess, and then yellow or whatever that color is, mustard. Get this in standard or beacon lights, or fenders, rear fenders here. That's AAA modding, or we can get beacon lights and fenders. Got a front loader attacher we can add to it, and we have standard wheels, wheel weights, rear twin wheels, rear narrow twins. It's more like we've got a normal wheel and a twin narrow with it, and back to standard. This tractor is only 100 horsepower and is $56,700 as configured. Base price $55,000. 2,891 to lease, 567 per day, and 1,190 per operating hour. Now, we've got the two-wheel drive sister of this one, the ZT320A. It's got all of the same configurations, same horsepower rating and everything, just in a two-wheel variant. Let's go ahead and take a look at that a little bit. Got the brown, that shiny, that is cool, the shiny sticker on there. Fender. Oh, let's get rid of that front loader. We don't want to cover that up. And let's get this in there. Let's try that. Let's just release one of these. Let's go back and pick up standard one of those. And then let's change it to green. The weights. All right, now let's take a look at these things. I think they look pretty weird myself from the standpoint of it looks like they are sitting back. Looks like the rear tires are lower, or lower than the front. So it looks like it's basically, lower in the back than it is in the front. Look at that reflective metal logo there, the metal graphic. Same thing up here, pretty cool looking. Nice detailing on everything. So listen to that tractor run. With the mesh on the front, we can see through into the radiator and everything. First stage lights. Blinkers. Second stage lights. Third stage lights. So did we get one with blinker or hat or get one with beacons? No, we didn't. All right. Let's look around on the inside. Alright, so we've got my head tracking turned on, and I've reconfigured it, so hopefully it lets me look around a little bit better inside here. Let's check to see the gauges light up. We have different stages of lighting indication. It's pretty cool. Let's check the blinkers. We have a blinking light there. It doesn't differentiate between four-way blinkers or left and right. Animated gauges are pretty cool. I like the controls on this thing. We're all very nice looking tractors. And there is a companion to these in the water and slurry tanks. We're going to take a look at a little bit later. And then we'll just match up these and basically see how they look. Still can't get over that shiny graphic. That is... I think if I use this, I would have to pick this version just because I like that shiny graphic. Although I'm not a giant fan of the big old EU squares there compared to these. These don't have the EU squares, but that one does. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at the Silo King self-propelled TMR mixer here under Animals. So if we look at the in-game one, we've got the Strauderman VM1702. Has a capacity of 17,000 liters and a cost of $158,000, 24 miles per hour. Then we have the Silo King Compact 1612, only 13,000 liters. Interesting enough. So I would not suggest feeding this thing with bales, simply because it is not, a nice divisible number of 4,000. It is 13,000, so it is a bit short on that. 150 horsepower, 24 miles per hour. Always an interesting tricycle style design here with the dual rear tires and then the wide front tires. But it is only $121,000, so it is fairly low cost compared to the other in-game version of the self-propelled sprayer. Do have internal lights, and we do have an LED readout. I don't know. I honestly never used this in 17 to know if we actually had a digital readout there that would tell us the amount that we had in the mixer or not. Lights. This is a Giants mod, and this mod is for all platforms. Now, I think I forgot to mention in the tractor that we just looked at, it is also for all platforms. Take a look at lights. Kind of an interesting deal here. Just going to put this thing down here out of the way. Pull up the F1 menu, we do see mixing ratios and everything. And with the left mouse button, we can raise and lower the arm. Or we can open and close, I guess, the cover there for the intake. It's supposed to just gobble up hay, straw, and silage and suck it on in there. So turn this off. And let's go take a look at the Challenger MT700E Stealth. The yet another Challenger reskin. As you can tell, I'm not overly excited about this one. It is another one by Giant Software, and again is for all platforms. We've got the Challenger MT700E series. No configuration options. $317,000, 384 horsepower. Now, what's interesting is on the website, it lists this as 384 horsepower to 438 horsepower. Yet on the mod page here, we don't have that choice. So let's go ahead and lease this. $16,167 to lease, $3,170 per day, and $6,657 per operating hour. That is crazy. So other than we've got a flat black paint here, we've got tinted windows, we do have some interesting stenciling going on. Caution heavy. Got 1921 mm, so I guess that's 1,921 millimeters. Back, it says no step on the back. We hop up here, we can see basically we've got a black on black painting there, no step, intake. And then on the front glass, it says Stealth on it. See that mirrored there. Not a lot going on here. I'm not a giant fan of the tractors anyway, but we've got our reverse lights, brake lights, there are hazards, first stage lights, second stage lights, and third stage working lights. Not a lot of lights going on, I don't think, compared to some of these other tractors. And then of course we've got our beacons going on. Go ahead and move this out of the way. We'll take a look at the New Holland self-propelled sprayer. Under crop protection, and this is another Giants mod, again for all platforms. Now, this is $259,000 for 5,100 liters of capacity. Oops, sorry. 6,057 liters of capacity for liquid fertilizer and herbicide. 36 meter working width, 31 miles per hour, 7 miles per hour working speed. Now let's compare that to the Stara. 195,000 for 5,100 capacity. Now this one has a smaller working width of just 27 meters, a little bit slower at 26 miles per hour, but has the added benefit of holding solid fertilizer, liquid fertilizer, or herbicide. Then we've got the Rubicon, $489,000. It's got a massive 48.5 meter wingspan, 15 miles per hour working speed, so this thing will get the job done and get it quick. 9,000 liters capacity for liquid fertilizer and herbicide, and 31 miles per hour to get around map on. So we've got the New Holland, which operates half the speed of the Rubicon. It's got a third less capacity, a little bit narrower working width by what, about 12 meters narrower working width, but it is in effect nearly half the cost of that thing. We all know what this thing looks like from Farm Sim 17, but we'll go ahead and take a look at it. $13,209 to lease, $2,590 per day, $5,439 per operating hour. Let's compare that to Rubicon. And, well, what the heck, let's go ahead and compare it to the Stara, which we can get narrow tires are standard. Alright, let's take a look at this one. Now, one thing to note is this one seems to be front wheel steer. Our beacons, for stage lights, for four ways, flashers, left and right, rear working lights, secondary lights. Do we have lights on the booms? Let's find out. Not see any lights on the booms. So spraying at night might be a little bit difficult to see the full spread. Tires do come out when you come full width. And we can adjust the spray bar up and down. That is our only adjustment. Let's go ahead and move this here out of the way. And what I wanted to see was if these have two-wheel steer or four-wheel steer. But Stara, front wheel steering. We have boom lights on this one. Let's find out. Interesting unfold animation. Of course, this came from the Platinum Pack and is an in-game implement. Doesn't look like we've got lights on the boom. We do have lights on the side that light up the side. Boom is kind of lit up from the side, and we also have vertical adjustment on the spray bar. Let's go ahead and fold this one up and put it away. And let's look at the big boy, the hardy Rubicon. This one we can adjust the steering mode. We can two-wheel steer, left control Y, all-wheel steering. We have front-wheel steering or all-wheel steering. Those are our options. Does this one have working lights? So on this one, the tires swing out. Big old boom arms here. And we do have boom lights on this one, at least to some degree. See, there's the boom light right there on the bottom. I just wanted to see and compare those there and see how they looked with respect to the booms. This out of the way. And let's now go ahead and take a look at the FS19 HTS mod pack, also by AAA Modding. And this is the sister mod to those little tractors that I was talking about. So we've got a slurry tank here under Tools. Got the HTS 100.27. Choice of rim cover color. Oh my gosh, red, cream, or that mustardy yellow looking color. And we have a choice of standard blue, brown, or green. This is a slurry spreader that has a capacity of 10,000 liters and a 10-meter working width, 10 miles per hour. All of the customizations are no cost. And this one is $9,000 to buy, $459 to lease, $90 per day, and $189 per operating hour. Let's take a look at this one, and you'll see these match up perfectly with the little tractors here. Really like the sound on this thing. Oh, I just saw that the mud flaps on this move. We have dynamic hoses on here, which is pretty cool. Let's see, can we open? We can. Let's see, B. Turn on the slurry tanker. Doesn't look like we can open the top. It's an interesting design where we've got the now the fertilizer spreader I did a mod review on a couple weeks ago had this type of axle. I forget what it was called. Where it's two wheels and then where they basically articulate on the center there. I do like how this is interesting. The tank is mounted at an angle, so it would naturally empty by gravity. So that's the slurry tanker version. Now let's take a look at the water trailer version. So again, under tools, but this time we're going to go to animals, all the way over here to the HTS 80.45. This is the water tank equivalent. It is 8,000 liters, $30 a day, $8,500, and we can get it in standard or brown chassis or green chassis again. You want to get this one in brown with the cream wheels. I don't know if that's how it's supposed to look, but what the hey, let's give her a try. $433 to lease, $85 a day, and $178 per operating hour. I don't know if I mentioned this, but this is available for all platforms. I may or may not have previously forgotten that. Let's match that up with this cool brown color. I think if I played with this tractor, I'd have to delete those warning signs. That's just annoying. Got the matching color scheme there. Pretty cool. Pretty cool options. If you're into small equipment, then these two companion mods look like they would go very, very well together. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the field service trailer. This is, I have to say, probably one of my top 15 mods of Farm Sim 17. Let's go to Tools, and we go over here to Miscellaneous. Now, this mod is for PC and Mac platforms only. This is by GTX of LS Mod Company. We have few options. We can change the color to whatever we want. We've got red as the default. We could go to black, a nice black color, or we could go to yellow, John Deere yellow, Challenger yellow, should we wish to. We've got choices of wheels. We've got the Lizard street wheels, or I kind of like these off-road knock-ins. Kind of like that look. What do you guys think? Kind of like that. The way this works is this trailer holds both fuel and acts as a service trailer. I'm going to demonstrate that here in a little bit. Let's go ahead and lease this thing up. $21,800 to buy with the tire choice and the color change. $21,300 base price. $1,111 as configured to lease, $218 a day, and $457 per operating hour. Did I go ahead and lease this? I did indeed. Now, let's go here and let's just hook up this little tractor here. This little gem of a tractor. Let's take a look. Go to the F1 menu. So we need to first fill the tool. Now, I have to tell you, something's messed up with my test map here. The fuel trigger over there at the fuel pump is broken. I don't know what happened. So I can't fuel this trailer up. I didn't put in a placeable fuel pump. I should have thought about that. In fact, I might just do that so I can demonstrate this properly. So if we run around here to the back and we hit the R button, okay, see we get some menus. It activate service function. We turn that on. And then we get turn off trigger marker. Service menu or deactivate service function. So you can see we've got a red square over on this side. Let's take this tractor here, Challenger. Oh, I didn't even realize we can open the doors here. And we can open the we can open all these doors. It's pretty cool with mouse functions. Alright, so our red box turned into a green box once we pulled this tractor in here. Let's change this tractor from a Challenger to a Fendt. So now that we are in the service trigger, we hit M, and we can't customize it because I leased the darn thing. But we could repair it. We could customize it right here from our service trailer. Pretty cool. Look at this. It says farm name. So of course we're in single player. So it says my farm. That is pretty cool. Fendt Vario 1000. It's identified the tractor. We have 0 operating hours, 0 age on the tractor, and 100% condition. That is pretty cool. Let's go ahead and let's put the stealth in here and just see how that works. See, the trigger went back to red. And now the little laptop says Challenger MT700E Stealth. 0 hours, 0 days, and 100%. Got some cool tools in here and everything. Let's hit R to close that back up. And the other function that this has is it is a fuel trailer. So we have a pump here that we actually have to turn on in order to fill this up with fuel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to exit the game. I'm going to throw in a placeable fuel pump. I'm going to fill this up. Then I'm going to come back. I'm going to fill this up, and while I'm out in game, I'm going to drain something of fuel. Probably drain this this Challenger of fuel so that we can fill it up. So I'll be right back. Alright, so I'm back in game, and you can see in the Challenger, and it is nearly out of fuel. So let's go ahead and put down that fuel tank. So this is a Vertex design fuel tank. It was in a mod review very early on. And put that down. Jump in our tractor here. Pull the fuel trailer over to that so that we can fill up. So we are putting fuel into the trailer. And if we look here, okay, so the 17 version, the LCD would display how much fuel was in the tank. Maybe it only works when the fuel pump is running now. Alright, so that's good enough for our demonstration purposes. So just to remind everybody, The maintenance trailer trigger is on the right side of the trailer. The refuel trigger is on the left side of the trailer, which is the same side of the trailer as this fuel hose. Okay, so if you fuel up on the, or if you're trying to fuel up on the right side, you're not going to have any success. Basically, need to pull up the trailer up the left side here, like so. We're going to need to get out. Hit the F1 menu. We need to hit R to start the fuel pump. So now we are running the fuel pump. We got the cool engine. See that rotating? The LED readout has turned on now, so we see we have 608 liters of fuel. From the F1 menu, we can see that it's 32% full, and we get a trigger. It's green, which means we have a tractor in the trigger. We pull this out. It will go red. Now you're telling us basically there's nothing in the trigger to refuel. And now we can hit R. See, the fuel gauge is going up. And if we run over here real quick, we can see the gauge here is going down. Okay, 14 liters left. And then we need to hit R. Turn off our pump. Little fan here stops turning. The LED stops working. And there we go. Well, we do have a gauge here also for the fuel level. And you may have noticed the fuel warning sign here has gone away now that it is basically empty. That is another cool feature here to kind of give you a visual representation of how much fuel is in the trailer. Let's move our Challenger here out of the way. Now that we have him full of fuel again. Next up, we have the forwarder trailer. Go ahead and take a look at that under forestry, under tools. Scroll over here to the end, and we have the forwarder trailer. This is just a little old trailer. Takes up to 5-meter logs. Now what's interesting is the two configurations. We have street configuration or logging configuration. In logging configuration, the front rack is missing, but we also have street and logging tires. Now why the street configurations are not matched when you load up the mod by default. So logging is default tires, but street is the default configuration there. Change color coding on the vertical uprights, and we can change color coding on the rims. Price of this is $21,600, $1,101 to lease, $216 per day, and $453 per operating hour. Since it is a trailer, if you lease this, the operating hours only count up while it's connected. So what's interesting about this is we could hook this up to a tractor. Okay, if we wanted to, we could hook this up to our Challenger here. Well, that Challenger doesn't have the appropriate hitch, I guess. This one should work. See, we can hook that up to a high hitched tractor, should we wish. But where this really shines is that you can connect this to the Komatsu 875. You can see it has a rear hitch here. Let's go ahead and lease this. And now we can basically haul double the logs out of the forest, should we so wish. I tell you, I'm not very good at these with these log loaders with the cranes, but I know some people like to use it, so that is pretty interesting mod for those types of folks. That is by LS Mod Source / Modder ROLF, and it is for all platforms. Let's go ahead and take a look here at the next one, which is a Horse Tiger 10LT cultivator. Go to tools and we go to cultivators here. Got the Horse Tiger 10LT, $75,000, 10.2 meter working width, 9 miles per hour here. So let's take a look and see how it compares. 400 horsepower also. How does it compare to other cultivators in this lineup? So we've got the Horse Cruiser, 400 horsepower for 8 meters, 9 miles per hour. It's $89,000. Got the Amazon Centis 8003, $68,000, 6 meter working width, 300 horsepower, 9 miles per hour. So they are priced, Tiger is priced between these. It has a larger working width, same speed, 400 horsepower. Interesting comparison. Release this thing up. Look at this very heavy duty hitch there. Wheels on the back. Challenger doesn't have the horsepower for this, and I don't think this one does either. I don't think we purchased this one to pull it in the field. But look how big this thing is. This will surely get the job done, and get the job done quick. This is by Giant Software, and again is for all platforms. If I should have forgotten to mention that. I don't see dynamic hoses here. It would be nice to see the hose hookups. It's clearly these hydraulics work. They work through some method, don't they? Alright, now let's go ahead and take a look at the two bale forks that we've got. First up, we have the straw fork by ETA La Marchoise. Say, this can be found here under the telehandler section. Not a lot going on. No real configuration options here. It's got stock bale forks. Got a high back end here. 3 spikes. $1,258 to purchase. $64 to lease. $12 per day. $26 per operating hour. Didn't get that. And let's go ahead and pick up a telehandler here. And while we're at it, let's pick up a few bales just to see how this thing handles. Let's go ahead and get 4. Simple fork, not a lot going on here. No additional controls, it appears. Slide in. Can move 4 bales at a time with this, which is pretty handy. Although I have to say, well, I'm not quite centered, but top 3 are a little precarious on there. Probably would do better with just 3 as opposed to 4. Yeah, it definitely looks like it handles 3 better than 4. Other than that, not a lot to be said. It's a bale fork. Good for handling multiple bales in the square format. And it is for PC and Mac only. I believe I mentioned that. Now we've got the next set of bale forks, which I think are for telehandlers. Not sure, because the description doesn't say anything about what they're good for or what they attach to. And, interesting enough, they're not in the telehandler section. They're not in the front loader section, or the skid steer section, or the wheel loader section. So where might you find these? Interesting, they are in the baling section. So we'll see what these can actually connect to. $897 per day, $45 to lease, $8 per day, and $18 per operating hour. These forks are by the Swedish Bona team, and they are for PC and Mac only. Let's see, do we get a connect? No, we don't. Okay, so they are not for telehandler. And the, let's check. Oh, let's just check skid steer just for the heck of it. I don't think skid steer is going to work on them, but we'll just check. Because the pictures just show the forks. They don't show the forks actually connected to anything. So what good is that? I mean, that doesn't look like they're going to connect. Okay. So it's not those. Did I get anything with front loader arms? No. Great. Let's try something with front loader arms. That. Oops. Let's hit all the wrong buttons. Front loader arms. And see. It's attached to a front loader arms. This is not looking good, people. Okay. Alright, well, there only leaves one thing. And not this one, right? Let's just try it. Nope. Kramer doesn't work. Okay. Let's see. So we've already tried. We haven't tried a wheel loader, but I don't think a wheel loader is going to work. Why would you have... I mean... Try. Maybe. Oh, there we go. Interesting. Bale forks for a wheel loader. Okay, guys, I really wish you would have put that in the mod description or had shown a picture of this thing attached to a wheel loader. I mean, it's just... Not really feeling confidence in these forks. The bale is kind of floating in there. Seems to slide around a bit. All right. That concludes the implements and trailers version of the video. Now let's move on over and just talk about the few placeables that we've got. We've got the small shelter by GSI Flash. It is available for all platforms. Go to placeables, go to sheds. We've got this small shelter, $1,180. What was it, $85? Just put this right here so we can kind of take a look at it. Cool little shelter. We can put those little tractors in here, those little slurry and water tanker. Nice wood texture on there with the concrete bases. Fairly inexpensive. All right, let's take a look at the next one, which is the government subsidy sign. Under decoration. No, it's not. It's under miscellaneous. Sorry. We have the government subsidy sign. And this little ditty costs us no money whatsoever. Put it down here. Looks very nice. Kind of weathered dirt look to it. This thing will give us different amounts of money based on the economic difficulty level that we have selected. So if we look at it here in the shop, see that we get $80,000 per hour on hard mode. We have our economic difficulty set to hard mode right now. If we switch it over to normal and we go back in the shop, see that we now get $100,000 per in-game hour. And if we go to easy difficulty and we go back in here, you'll see that we get $150,000 per in-game hour. And what's interesting is we're not limited to just one. Put these down all over the map, should we wish. And we will get ourselves lots of money per in-game hour, should we so wish. Now, that is by Realist Modding and is for all platforms. Next one we're going to take a look at is by Giant Software. It is the placeable refill tanks. Sea tank for $7,500. Solid fertilizer tank for $8,500. Liquid fertilizer and herbicide tank also for $8,500. Take a look at these things. They are fairly well weathered in appearance. Jump on over here. And interesting enough, these have an interesting price factor to them. They are all over standard pricing. I will have to pull up the XML real quick to tell you all what the pricing is because I forget at the moment, and I don't want to misspeak. So if we look at the seed tank is priced at 1.1. So 110% of in-game price. So there is a 10% price premium when you buy seed out of the seed tank. Let's look at the solid fertilizer tank. Solid fertilizer tank has a price point of 1.3. So 30% price increase between the purchasing the pallets of fertilizer to getting it out of this refill station. Now we've got the liquid fertilizer. And the liquid fertilizer has a price scale of 1.42. So 42% more to buy liquid fertilizer out of this tank than out of a pallet. And finally, we have the herbicide tank. It has a price scale of 1.1. So just like the seeds, this one is just 10% of the price, or 110%. You pay 10% more to get herbicide out of this tank as compared to the pallets from the store. Last one we're going to look at is the script, the animal husbandry script. What I'm going to do is I'm going to enable flight mode. Jump up here. And we're going to move over to this placeable area. And we're going to see how many chicken huts we can put down before we are limited to what we can put down. Let's go to animal pens, chicken coop. And we should be limited to just 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9. Too many animal pens. Oh, that is because I have one sheep pen over on the other part of the map. If you look here at the shop, you can see that we've got sheep pen, a horse pen, and now 9 chicken coops. And we got the message that we had too many. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to exit the game, activate this mod. We're going to come in and you're going to see that we can put down some more animal pens. There ain't much more to demonstrate than that, other than the fact that you can now exceed the previous limit of 10. Right back with you. So we're back in the map. I've activated the mod. There's nothing really to show visually that the mod is activated other than to go in here and see if we can't put down some more chicken coops. Go. So there you go. Clearly we can put down more. We have now what? We have 9 chicken. We've got more than 9 chicken coops and a horse coop. Let's check. Definitely have more than 9. Three there. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 chicken coops right there. Interesting enough, it's only reading 9 here in the... Oh, now it's reading 16. But you all saw it was only reading 9 there for a little bit. Now it's reading all 16. So we have 17 total animal areas currently on the map now that we have activated the mod. That is by Mata Leacher over at LS Mod Company, and it is for PC and Mac platforms only. So guys, that concludes this week's weekend roundup of the mods released in the Giants Mod Hub for the week of January 28th through February 1st. Be sure to tune in next weekend for another weekend roundup where we will profile all of the mods released in the Giants Mod Hub for the following week, which is, February 4th through 8th, I believe. So until next time, guys, happy farming.